What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me. As promised, I'm going to do a first impressions of my new Atlas Gunworks Artemis 40 cal competition gun. Now we'll go over the specs initially. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the gun, how I feel about it, everything that I've experienced thus far with the gun. I'm now 1,000 rounds in on this setup. The gun is unloaded and clear, no magazine in the gun. So let's get into this. So what is the Artemis? Plain and simple, a lot of people look at this gun and realize, oh, it looks like a Nemesis. It's not, it's a little bit different. So some of the specs on the Artemis: it is a 5-inch overall length gun. So basically what this is a 5-inch gun cut back to a 4.6. It's a sight blocked gun. I've been getting a lot of questions on why the Artemis, not the Nemesis, and we'll talk about that later. I'll get into more detail on why I've chosen to shoot this gun for the 2021 season. So it's 4.6 slide. What are some of the other Atlas models that are 4.6? One you might think of would be the Hyperion or the Athena. So the Artemis is designed around the 9mm. The Nemesis is designed around the 40 cal. This is a 40 caliber Artemis. You know, kind of different. Why would I shoot this? This gun is designed for the perfect return to zero, just like all the Atlas Gunworks gun around the 9mm caliber. You got the 4.6 slide. Right now I have it set up. They've pretty much set it and tuned it for my liking, which is a great thing about Atlas Gunworks. I'm running the X-Line Vario medium curved trigger. The X-Line Vario triggers, Atlas sells them in short, medium, or long, curved, flat, or convex, I believe, as well. And this is breaking right at 1.5 pounds. That's where I want it to break at. Right now I have a fiber, front fiber, 9.0 fiber, and a 115 rear. The wide paddle safeties on the gun. Non-shielded, they also offer shielded as well. And then kind of a mid-length mag release button. So those are some of the features that I like that suit my shooting style. This gun does have a tack rail on it. Will I use it? Maybe not. Right now I probably won't, but it's there. One of the other features you can get on the Artemis is the RDS system, to where the actual rear sight is a plate system that can come off and you could mount a red dot sight onto it. There's also a variety of options for magwells. This magwell, I believe, is called the tactical magwell. The reason for me to run this magwell, it is an IPSC legal magwell, and that's a lot of the reason I'll get into later on why I'm shooting this gun. It's a stainless magwell. So the big difference in the 40 and the 9mm for the Artemis is in the grip. So this being a 40, it is a stainless steel aggressive textured grip. The 9mm option is going to come with an aluminum grip. Both options have the interchangeable panels. Later I'll do a video as I get the panels on the different sizes. If you go over to Atlas Gunworks on YouTube or on Instagram, you can watch and see the different panels, how they install. They did a really good job of showing that. There's 3 types of panels. There's the 0 panel, which is what I'm using right now. And then there's a panel for large hands, which is pretty much a palm swell that can be placed on either side. And then there's a step panel, which is actually a 0 with the ledge. Most people are going to put it, if you're right-handed, they're going to put it on the support side to allow you to lock in your non-dominant hand for better grip. I have the 0 panels. I'll test them all. I'm really liking the 0 panels right now. Me personally, as a shooter coming from the last 2 years shooting single stack, I like and I'm used to a smaller grip, so I'm really enjoying the 0 panels right now. And that's the beauty of the Alpha grip, whether you have one in steel or in aluminum, is you can change the panels out to custom fit per your grip. The V2 or the Alpha grip guns are about as small as you can make this grip forward to back. So it's really nice for, you know, smaller youth shooters, females, someone with smaller hands. This is about the thinnest you can get a 2011 grip on the market that I know of, and ergonomically it fits the hand amazing. They did a great job, as always, of blending, and the fit and finish is remarkable. But then if you have huge hands, you can take the same grip and add the panels to make it really customizable to you, the shooter. So that's a little bit about it. The gun comes in at 46 ounces. I like the all steel. I like the weight of the gun. I'm now 1,000 rounds into the gun, not a single malfunction. and that's, you know, within 2 days of practice. And so this is kind of my first impressions on how the gun performs, and I know everyone's going to want to compare it to a Nemesis, being that I've put a lot of rounds through both generations of the Nemesis, or the OG. If you guys follow me, you'll see I have the first working prototype of the Nemesis, and then the actual Nemesis, what it is now, to the Artemis. So that's value that I feel I bring that I can kind of discuss, because you might be wanting to get into the limited game or standard game if you're IPSC, and you're trying to decide which one of these is going to work best for you. So the decision for me to go with the Artemis. For the last 2 years, like I said, I've been shooting single stack, and I was shooting the Atlas Gunworks Titan. It's a 5-inch gun. I'm used to a 5-inch gun, and it was also a 40. At the same time, I have the Nemesis in 40. I really enjoy the Nemesis, but each gun, and Atlas does a good job of explaining this, what they're designed for and what type of grip pressure, right? So the 9mm, the Artemis is designed around the 9mm. That is the purpose, and if you look at it, they say it is for light to medium grip strength. Okay, if you have a medium grip strength, the Hyperion or the Athena works as well. They're a 4.6 gun without a sight block. The Artemis, adding that sight block, which is going to keep that front end down a little bit better, will help someone with lighter grip strength. So say a youth shooter or elderly or whatever it may be, if you have a lighter grip strength and you have problems keeping that muzzle down, the Artemis is the key to that in 9mm. How does that apply to me in 40? So one of the things that's happened over my shooting career and throughout my life is I've developed really strong grip strength. For the past decade, I swing a hammer for a living, and I have pretty weird ass hands, but I got gorilla grip. So when I grab, let's say, a Nemesis, I have to really spring down the gun a lot. The Nemesis is designed perfect zero on the 40 cal for like 90% of shooters. Majority of people watching this shooting a 40, the Nemesis is going to perform better for you. Now the two differences in the Nemesis and the Artemis, and one other factor that pushed me towards the Artemis, is the Artemis is IPSC legal. So it fits in the IPSC box for standard division. The Nemesis does not. The Nemesis for me, when I go from my single stack 5-inch gun to a Nemesis, it took me quite some time to get used to the timing and the return of the gun. It is a bit longer, and typically that added weight on the front is causing the gun to dip. Now, I'm going to preference this when we say like everyone's a little bit different. Now for me, I base it on grip strength. And that's the kind of the elements on getting these guns to return is your grip strength, your load development, and then how the gun is sprung. So the Nemesis out the box, for majority of everybody, they're going to love it. Because the average male is probably 80 pounds, 70 to 80 pounds of grip strength per hand. I'm sitting at around 150 pounds of grip strength per hand, but that just goes to what I've done for a living and shooting and construction, everything that I've done. So for me, I grip a gun and I don't need all that added weight, let's just say. The Artemis for me in 40 being shorter, light slide, having the block on the front, in a 40, a major caliber gun, stainless grip, stainless magwell, returns perfectly. Now, can I get a Nemesis to return perfect? Yes, if you watch videos of me, I have, but that required me springing the gun extremely light for that return. Pretty much everyone else out there, you're not gonna have that problem. There are a few exceptions. It also comes down to how you like the feel of a gun, how you like the cycle of the gun. This slide is lighter, being that it's a 4.6 slide. It's a little bit more snappy in the hand. I like that aggressiveness into the hand. It's not punching, but I like the fast cycle feeling. I don't like slug. I want it to feel fast and snap back fast onto target. And so that's the main things that really pushed me towards Artemis. And I guess I'm a bit unique in that, and I don't want anyone to think that this is replacing the Nemesis, because it is definitely not. The Nemesis is still the best all around for majority of people, designed, sight blocked, USPSA limited gun, bar none. The Artemis is just something a little different for us weirdos that have monkey grip strength. If you're shooting 9mm, this thing is insane in 9mm. Like it doesn't move. It's really a remarkable gun. With any gun development, you can really adjust springs and load and to get a gun to perform the way you want. But the biggest thing with Atlas Gunworks is they tell you, hey, this is for a medium to light grip strength. The Artemis in 40, I will say, is for a stronger grip strength. If I hand this gun to someone with a super weak grip strength, it's not going to feel as good as it would to someone who would, shoot a Nemesis. The Nemesis is going to feel better. But for me, those are my main reasons. So the two patterns, going back into the grip, we have this super aggressive texture, and I'll give you guys some close-ups on this. The other pattern is the Delta pattern, and that's what you're going to find on the aluminum grips. I ran a demo gun in a Nemesis for quite some time with this new grip before it was released, and I really enjoyed the Delta pattern. This is extremely aggressive. The Delta pattern for a moderate texture, it's definitely not, it's not slippery. It's not overly aggressive. It's just the right amount. And I enjoy it. I would shoot it on a steel framed as well. But this aggressive texture is probably one of the most aggressive that I've felt. But they've done a good job of putting the texture in the right spot. So it's not tearing up the hands too much, but it's definitely not going anywhere. So that's kind of a brief thing on the Artemis. My first impressions, I've been shooting it for the last couple days, and I've had no problems. I did a complete field strip of the gun, cleaned the gun to inspect it, look for any uneven wear, unusual wear in spots that shouldn't be, and there's been none of that. The coating on the gun still looks brand new. I'll probably within this season put about 80,000 rounds on this gun. And I'm going to continue to do updates on how it's wearing in. But so far, I'm loving it. Hopefully that helps some of you guys if you're going back and forth between the Artemis and the Nemesis. Just realize they're both amazing guns, but understand that every person is different. Every shooting style is different. If you get a chance to feel both, you should. If you're shooting 9, this is an amazing option that you should definitely look at. If you're shooting 40, I would strongly encourage you to try the Nemesis first before you get onto the Artemis and see really what works best for you. Even the Titan's a 5-inch non-sight block gun. So why this over the Titan for me is I like the faster light cycle rate on the slide. I'm running a 10-pound spring in the gun right now. The slide's super light. It feels faster to me. It's weird. It's a weird explanation. But that's just my preference, and there's people that like the other. The beauty of it is Atlas covers all of it. They offer a gun for every single style of shooting. The more advanced you become in the shooting sports or whatever you may be doing, the more picky or fine-tuned you are going to become with the feel of the gun. And that's where you get like me, who messes with sights to trigger to grip setup to texture. 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't have known the difference in the Nemesis, the Artemis, the Titan, but now I definitely do, especially after shooting them all side by side. So this is the setup that works best for me. As far as the IPSC stuff goes, this is an IPSC legal gun. That is a big persuading point for me. I plan to travel international if COVID allows this year, shoot IPSC Nationals, Pan American Games, Extreme Euro, albeit if COVID allows. So that was another big point for me. And all in all, I love the gun thus far, and I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated. But if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment below. Make sure you go over to Atlas Gunworks. They have a more detailed view of the Artemis. And this is kind of just my first impression to take the gun. I love the gun. It's a beautiful gun. It runs flawlessly, cycles effortlessly, and is a perfect fit for me. So that's why I'm going to run it for 2021. But thank you guys. Have a great weekend.